I'm Terry, and I'm nuts about stamping. I'm back today with another Sundays with Sizzix project. It's this thank you card that I made, although you really could replace that phrase with any other phrase you want and make it an all occasions card. Here's what you need to gather together to make this card. I used my Big Shot, I used my platform, my two standard cutting plates, and I used my vintage wallpaper embossing folder. I used my decorative label punch. This is a great new punch that's in the Holiday Mini Catalog, and it's part of the Handmade for Christmas bundles. You can get a bundle that includes this punch and save yourself some money. I used a product I haven't shown you before. They're called paper daisies. You get 60 daisies to a package for only $6.95. And I think there's 3 or 4 different sizes. I used a medium. Actually, there's 4 different sizes. I used the second largest, and then I used the one down from that. So I used size 2 and size 3. I used my paper piercing tool and my mat. I have my glimmer brads, the basic glimmer brads. I used my Real Red classic ink pad and a well-loved sponge. I used my Gold Glow Smooch Spritz, and I used the color catcher. You can see how well-loved my color catcher has been. I used the Just Believe stamp set and Clear Block B. For cardstock, I used Very Vanilla and Real Red. And then I used for accents the Victoria Crochet Trim. And then I used my bone folder, I used my glue stick, and my snail adhesive. Along with that, I used my ribbon cutting scissors. And I think that's all I used for this card. So I'll clear off my area and I'll show you how to emboss the layer for the card. Back in a moment. All right, I'm back. I'm going to show you how to make the background. Your sandwich is your platform on tab 1, your bottom standard cutting plate. Then you want to open up the embossing folder and put your cardstock in, close it up and put the open end in first, then the top standard cutting plate, and then run it through the Big Shot. Okay, now, the next thing I did was I brought in my color catcher. I put the cardstock inside the color catcher, and then I took my Gold Glow Smooch Spritz, gave it a gentle shake, took the lid off, and I spritzed over the whole card base. The one thing that you need to know about the Smooch Spritz is the nozzle is really tiny and you have to look very carefully where it is before you spritz your card background. Trust me, I know I did that one once where I had the nozzle facing my face and spritzed myself instead. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing to show you, but I smooched the background and it will look like something like this. I don't know if you can see it, but the whole background has this gold shine to it that's quite pretty. So that's what I did for the background. Then what I did was I brought in one of my paper daisies. Now the paper daisies come in white, but you can color them. I colored mine with Real Red, and I'll show you how to do that. You bring in your ink pad, your classic ink pad. This is one of the ways you can color it. Let me bring in some paper to protect my grid pad there. You just ink up and then rub it down. And of course, the more color you apply, the darker your daisy will be. And so that's what I did. Then for the layered daisy, I would make mine a little bit darker, but I don't want to take your time now that you've seen how it's done. So here it is, it's darker. Then I took the sort of the second smallest daisy, and I put that in my color catcher, and I spritzed it with the Gold Glow Smooch Spritz as well. Then I put the layer of the Victoria crochet trim on top of my embossed layer, wrapped that around and tucked it in the back. I stamped the thank you on a piece of scrap, very vanilla cardstock, and punched it out with my decorative label punch. Adhered that on the card. And then what I did is I lined up my paper daisies. I put one of the gold glimmer basic brads, try say that 5 times, through the daisies and through the real red card layer to secure it. And then I attached the whole layer to the card front. And that's it. The card really has a beautiful glimmer to it. I don't think you'll be able to see it in my bonus room light here, but I will have a close-up of the card on my blog. For a complete list of the supplies that I used to make this card, please visit my blog, www.nutsaboutstamping.com. While on there, don't forget to subscribe to my exclusive and free customer newsletters. I'll provide you with a lot of ideas that I won't show on my blog or anywhere else. You can place an order through me, or you can just ask me a question. I'm Terry. I'm nuts about stamping. See you next time. Bye for now.